Welcome to your free total body strong. So we're gonna get a full body strength workout in. So you're going to need a variety of weights or resistance, whatever you have around can work. And you can absolutely do this entire workout body weight. So you might wanna grab some heavier weights for the lower body stuff and some lighter weights for the upper body stuff. You will need a mini band if you have one kicking around for the finisher. All right, as always, take this at your own pace. You can always adjust the resistance that you're using, how many reps you're doing for each, how many sets you do, and feel free to push pause if you need to. Okay, let's get warmed up. Starting out on the floor, we're gonna start out with some cat-cows. So coming into a tabletop position, and then just begin to look forward, tip your sit bones up towards the ceiling, let that belly fall. And then reverse that and take the top of your spine and pull it up towards the ceiling as you draw your chin to your chest. So we'll get a little bit of mobility in here. We're gonna get half an hour of work with the option to add on about a 5-minute glute finisher. So if you're done after half an hour, then you can do a quick stretch and see you later. Or you can continue on with us for the glute finisher. Get a few more here, maybe pausing, really let that belly fill up as you gaze comes up towards the ceiling. And then from here, tuck your toes under, start to lift those sit bones nice and high, draw your chest towards your quads, and then begin to come forward. Now you can come back forward into tabletop if that works for your core, or you can bring it into your version of a plank, either from the knees or knees lifted into that high plank. And starting to push back through those hands as you lift those sit bones high, and then coming forward into your version of a plank. So whether that's the tabletop, knees down, or any combination of them. And if it feels uncomfortable with your head below your heart, then we'll just stay in a tabletop and maybe reach one leg back, kind of alternating legs, getting into those hamstrings that way. Good. 2 more here. Last one. And then you're gonna come on down, laying down onto your back. If you feel uncomfortable laying down onto your back, keep your hands on the floor. So you'll be here into a reverse tabletop, or you can rest your back all the way down onto the floor and lifting up into a glute bridge. Whichever option works for you. We're just gonna start to control that motion all the way up and all the way down. And you can start to rest the hips all the way down and then begin to lift up. Starting to kind of rip that floor apart with the feet as you lift up and then lower back down, reset. Or if you'd like a little bit more, begin to come down and just hover those glutes so we don't rest all the way. So that just puts a little bit more time under tension for your back body. One option isn't better than the other. The best version or the best option is the one that works for you today. Go for 3, 2, and 1. Rolling it over into a plank. So your version of a plank, whether that's a tabletop like we did at the beginning, a modified plank, or onto those toes. And begin to come into a shoulder tap. So we're gonna take this slow and controlled. So you're gonna take your opposite hand, tap opposite shoulder, hold there, place it back down, and switch sides. Now the wider you take your feet, the greater base of support you have. So you might find that you're a little bit more stable, able to have less movement through the center of your body there. That's the goal as we're coming into this. Same on the tabletop. We can take those knees a little bit wider. Good. Now see if you can imagine there's an orange in between your tricep and your lats or your rib cage here, and kind of squeeze that orange with that tricep. And notice how that feels in your body. Go for 3, 2, and 1. Last move in your warm-up, come on up to standing. So we're gonna come down into a nice deep squat. We do have some goblet squats today, so find a deep squat. If you'd like a little bit of support, you can come with your back against the wall. Just kind of duck walk a little bit here. Transfer that weight from side to side. So if you're against the wall, you might want to step forward for this one a little bit. And then just start to settle into this and just notice where your feet are, where your knees are in relation to your shoulders. And from there, we're gonna lift up just a little bit, lower back down, and then come back up. So maybe the wall won't work for this, but you could use a box or a chair so you'd have a little bit of support to help you come up out of that squat. If the deep squat doesn't feel good, keep going with this. Come down a little bit, up a little bit, back down, and then all the way up, right? You're always in control of that range of motion as we go through this. But what we're trying to do is find a little bit of power coming out of the bottom of that squat. Rip the feet apart, feel that strength in the legs. Good, and then we come back down. And now we're gonna use that strength that we found and we're gonna come all the way up. Good, let's take 2 more here. And that, team, is our warm up. So we are gonna use a step. If you have one, a stool, a chair, something to elevate that back foot. Last little 1.5 squat here. See if you can keep the shoulders up over top of the hips, lean back a little bit. Good. All right, that's your warm up. Grab a sip of water if you need it as I'm explaining your upper body. So we're gonna start with an overhead press and a tricep extension. So we're gonna alternate between those 2 exercises 3 times. So your overhead press, you're going 8 reps. So we're gonna take it so the palms are facing me, right? Then we're gonna push the weights up, bringing the wrists up over top of the shoulders, and then lower back down. You're gonna get 8 of those. Then you might wanna go 1 weight or 2, depending on how heavy your weights are. Biceps stay nice and close to the ears. We're gonna reach the weight down and then pull it back up. We're gonna get 8 of those. And then you're gonna go through that 3 times. So take this slow and controlled and go at your own pace. All right, let's start with that overhead press. So grab those 2 weights, whatever weight works for you. You can always adjust each round. So bring them up. All right, ready? We're gonna lift up. Now we're doing just like a strict press here. So we're trying not to use that lower body. Sometimes we do like a push press where we dip through the knees. This time, it's all shoulders. So we're trying to stay nice and stable, steady, still, if you will, through that torso, through the middle of your body, through your legs, and just use that strength in the upper body as we bring those arms up. So as we go through total body strong, the movements are slow and controlled, and we're working on building that strength. So you're trying to pick a weight that is challenging you for 8 reps, right? It's not a lot of reps. So we want to get to 8 and feel like, yeah, we've reached our max. Now, if you don't have weights at home to reach that, you're stronger than what you have, slow it down, right? You can always take a couple seconds to come up and a couple seconds to come down. And you'll notice that that makes a big difference in what you're feeling in your upper body. After that shoulder press, we're coming into a tricep extension. So choose a weight where it's challenging, but we can still get that full range of motion. And we're gonna bring that weight all the way down and all the way up. Now you can hold onto it like I am, like this, or this might also feel better for you, depending on your shoulders. You can also use 2 dumbbells. So we're going for 8 of those. Then you can take a break, or you can go right back into your overhead press. You might not be following me very good. I'm not always the best at counting, as I'm sure you've noticed if you've been around here for a while. All right, so 3 times through that. We're getting that upper body first, and then we're gonna build up and get into that lower body last. All right, overhead press again. So in our total body strong classes, we tend to alternate between doing a push day and a pull day, but we always go full body. So we always get some upper body and some lower body. And I try to program it so that it's different than what we've done, say, on Saturday. So we're not working the same muscle group all week. If we've done hamstrings or deadlifts on Saturday, we'll do some other variation of hip dominant movement, like a glute bridge or a hip thrust or something instead, so that we're still building strength. Sorry, talking, not counting. But I'm doing it in different ways. So we're not overusing muscles or maybe finding injury because the muscle was tired from the day before. Same like if we do lots of push-ups on Saturday or lots of pressing movements and we do more pull the next day. Now, if 8 is not working for you, you have some options. You can adjust your weight or you can adjust the reps, right? You can go 10 reps if the weight that you have isn't enough, or maybe the weight that you have is too much, go for 6. And it can change as we go through this. All right, on to set 3 of that overhead press and that tricep extension. Here we go. So we're gonna go about 30 minutes, maybe 25, with the option to add on a little glute burnout. You can always, when we do double-sided stuff, break it apart, one side then the other. Whew. All right, I got 2 more here. And then triceps. Whew. Love this class. So we have a variety of classes, right? Where, this is not happening anymore, I'm going lighter. Where some classes are more cardio based. Some classes are like this, where there are lots of strength type work. And some classes are a combination. So the Saturday class, combination of strength and cardio. Awesome. All right, that's 3 for me. Finishing up wherever you're at. If you need more time, feel free to push pause. Make sure you're grabbing some water. We'll get into our next set. So, we're gonna go into a bicep curl and a goblet squat. So we're kind of supersetting upper body and lower body this time. So for your bicep curl, your palms are going to again face me. We're gonna try and keep those elbows glued to our rib cage. We're gonna lift the weight up to our shoulder and bring it back down. We're going 10 bicep curls. And then we're gonna hold 1 dumbbell or maybe 2 at our chest. Find that kind of stance that you found at the beginning in that deep squat. We've got 8 goblet squats. We're gonna go through that 3 times. All right, again, taking rest as you need it. But let's grab those weights for the bicep curl. So we're going full range of motion here. Take your time. Maybe start by pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe opening up the chest a little bit and then go for it. Lift it up, lower it down. And notice as you lift, we're kind of leaning, like when we did that push press, we could bend our knees and use the lower body. We don't want to use the back to lift the weights. We want that bicep to do the work, right? So we're going 10 bicep curls. Remember, 10 is an option. You could go 8. You could go 12, depending on how you're feeling today, depending on what you did yesterday, depending on the weights that you have. Lots of variables to take into account, depending on where you're at in your fitness journey, right? We want to be, yes, working hard, giving our best effort today, but not at the expense of not being able to move tomorrow, right? There's a muscle soreness that we might look for, but there's a muscle soreness that can sometimes be too much, so not going for that. So after you're done 10 bicep curls, we've got 8 goblet squats. So you're gonna grab that heavy kettlebell, heavy dumbbell, bring it up to your chest. All right, and then we're going, sliding that back straight down the wall. If you can get elbows to knees, great. And then we're pushing up. Same as we did in that warm-up, where we came down to the bottom. Now we found that strength as we came up. We're going 8 of those. We're going through that 3 times. Nice. After you're done those goblet squats, back into the bicep curls. So this will be our last upper body. And then we're just kind of ramping up for that lower body. And if you're going faster than me, you might want to either enjoy your rest or maybe get heavier weights, right? You can always double up. If you got 2 5s, put 2 5s in one hand and lift that way. Or put them in a bag and then lift and lower. We often talk about how do you know like what weight to use? Do you have to build up, right? I have 5 pounds. I can bicep curl with 5 pounds. Well, let me tell you, you carry a bucket seat with your child in it like this, do you not? Maybe some of us, that was a while ago. Maybe some of us aren't there yet, but we carry groceries. I guarantee, team, that your groceries, your baby in the bucket seat, that's heavier than 10 pounds and you're doing it all the time. So you can start that, right? Use that as your reference point. So there's a great quote that if we train harder than our everyday life becomes easier. So if we're always doing 5 pounds in workouts, but life requires us to lift 20 pounds, well, that 5 pounds might definitely be beneficial in some ways. It might not be training you to make your life easier. So if that's your goals, then maybe we up that weight. Because I promise you're strong enough. And oftentimes it's just our brain, right? We don't believe for whatever reason that we can lift 20 pounds, right? We're women, moms, we are so strong. And if you put your mind to it, you definitely could do it. And if you want to start with 5s, that's also great, right? We all start somewhere. Whew. All right, one more of those. Feeling warm. This class never ceases to amaze me how your heart rate can get up, how warm and sweaty you can get without doing a burpee or a jump squat, right? Without your feet leaving the floor. And as we're talking about like choosing weights and getting stronger, that doesn't mean that we won't have days when lifting 10 pounds isn't hard, because life, right? Like I said, there's lots of factors as to why we feel certain ways, when we feel strong, when we don't, and that's okay. Respect that, appreciate that, factor that into your journey. And then go from there. All right, last round of goblet squats. So as you're doing these goblet squats, as we get tired, we tend to bring the bum up kind of first like that, right? Come into more of a hinge. So I want you to focus on your shoulders coming up at the same time as your hips. So someone's pulling you up from the top of your head, lifting you up, right? So you got like a rope coming out of the top of your head or grabbing onto that top knot, and it's gonna pull you straight up. So after you've done 8 of these, you get to rest. We got one more lower body set coming your way. You can put that big weight away and grab some water. Awesome. All right. So we've got a lower body superset. You're gonna need a step, a stool, a bench, something. We've got a Bulgarian split squat. So we kind of want to go like 2 paces away and then put our foot up onto the bench. You can have the top of your foot onto the bench or your toes on the bench. It doesn't matter, but we want to make sure that we have enough space to bring that back knee towards the floor and then come back up. If you're too close, you'll find that you don't have a very good range of motion. If you're too far, you'll feel a big stretch in the front of the leg, and that's not what we're going for. All right, if we can have that back knee towards right underneath the hip, that's what we're going for. If that elevated foot doesn't feel good, take it to a split squat. If split movements don't feel good, take it to a suitcase squat. So you'll put the weight in one hand and do one side and then the other. All right, we're going 8 per side Bulgarian split squats and then 8 deadlifts. So we'll hold 2 weights for this. The deadlift, reach the bum back, and then stand up. So we'll go 8 of those. 3 times through that. All right, 8 and 8 again. Seems to be the theme. The theme today. So grab the weights that you want for that lower body. And we'll get started. Doesn't matter which side you start with. You'll do both sides. So do one side and then straight away go into the other. So again, about two big steps away. And then your back, one foot comes up. All right. Now you can lean forward a bit as you bring that back knee towards the floor and then come on up. We're going 8. There. You can always do this body weight if that's where you're building up. If the balance isn't working for you, you can either keep both feet on the floor or get rid of the weights, put your hand on a wall or even a chair in front of you. So you're gonna get 8 one side and 8 the other. And then you switch right away into that other side. So you might be taking rest after we get through these deadlifts, because this is all lower body, right? So we might take 30 seconds, a minute after we go through those deadlifts. This is our last strength set. And then we're gonna get into that glute finisher and then a quick stretch. So 3 rounds here. Maybe that you lean forward, that belly comes towards that front quad. After you're done, 8 of your second side on that split squat, you have a deadlift. All right, so our deadlift, feet hip width a little bit wider, maybe turned out if baby's on the inside. All right, now we're gonna reach that bum way, 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 way back. Bring the weights towards the leg, the front of the legs, and then we stand up. Okay, 8 of those. Nice. And then reach as far as you possibly can. Bum back, and then stand up. That's all we have to do. Nothing fancy here. After you're done 8 of those, take a little breather. Grab yourself a little bit of water. We're gonna go for round 2 here. But we wanna make sure those legs are ready to go for round 2. So, if you were like, whoa, Jamie, that was no problem. I got these Bulgarian split squats. They're easy. Grab heavier weight. All right? If you don't have heavier weight, can you get that back knee a little bit closer to the ground? Okay, round 2, let's go, team. Whether you're doing that suitcase squat with the weight on one side, so you'll be here, weight on one side. We're gonna squat down and up, and then weight on the other. So that's if having that split stance doesn't feel good on your body for whatever reason, right? And then that back foot can be on the floor if that feels better. So let's go. 8 here. You might be ahead of me. Okay, so we're trying to get that back knee nice and close to the floor, depending on how high your step, stool, bench is. I want you to imagine you're trying to make an imprint of either your shoe, your foot, whatever is on that front foot. You're trying to make an imprint of it on that floor so we can see your heel print, yeah, and maybe your big toe print. After we're done this, whew. There's mine, nice big toe. Here we go. Back knee towards the floor, and then we're driving up. Maybe lean a little bit forward. Not pulling the foot forward though, just maybe bringing the belly towards that quad. Remember that toe can be on the bench if that feels better, or top of your foot. Okay, then you got deadlift. Here we go. So if you feel like the weights are pulling you down, like you're feeling that stretch along your back, can you pull the weights up? So maybe lean, pull the weights up without lifting them up. And notice how that feels. Do you feel like you are lowering the weights and lifting the weights versus the weights pulling you down and then you have to lift them up? So you're in control of the weights and that range of motion, that movement as you come down and as you come up. 8 deadlifts. And then you get to rest. Okay, last round of these, then we'll get into that lower body. How are we feeling? Not the lower body, get into those glutes. Okay, one more round of these, everyone. You can adjust the weight so it gives you that challenge that you're looking for, right? This is it, this is your last set. Let's go into those split squats. All right, adjusting weights. So about 2 big steps forward, back foot up, and then go for it. So notice I went lighter this round. You can get a better range of motion. I just felt like that those weights were just kind of controlling me today. Other days, maybe not the case, right? I know I can do this with those weights, but today, I just wasn't feeling it. So the ego goes to the side and I adjust my weights so I can get what my body needs, not what my ego needs in this workout. Single leg movement, so good to challenge that core. Also just single-sided strengthening, right? Very rarely do we do things with 2 arms, with both of our feet in the exact same place all the time. So we train for life, right? Functional fitness. This right here, we walk upstairs. Yeah, we walk in general, we run. So getting that strength, single-sided, only makes us better for all of those things. All right, after you've done 8 of those, we got our 8 deadlifts. I put these to the side. Whew. 8 deadlifts here. Finishing up strong, everyone. Down, come on up. Again, you decide that tempo, but I want you to think about you're lowering those weights to the floor and you're pulling them back up. The weights aren't pulling you. You got this. 4 more. 5. There's 7. And 8. Whew. Rest, team. All right. We're done our main set. We have about 30 minutes there. We're going to go into a quick glute finisher, and then we will call her good. So we got 3 minutes here. If you've had enough and you don't have 3 minutes left in your day, grab a quick sip of water, grab a stretch, and take off. You can always come back to this. Take a mini band. Put it above your knees. If you don't have a mini band, that's okay. All right, we've got 5 moves here. Ready? We got a lateral side step this time. So sometimes we do this in a squat. Today we're gonna do this standing. Come to the side of your room, we're going 30 seconds. So a couple steps one way, a couple steps the other. We're gonna keep some tension in the band. If you don't have a band, that's okay, do it without. 30 seconds in 3, Stepping to one side and then back. Let's go. So a couple steps one way. You're maybe leaning forward. Now, I want you to keep those feet at least hip width apart. So I've got tension in my band. Now I'm making more tension. Keep the tension. Don't let it go. So just 30 seconds, 3 minutes, high reps. Good. I'm going to tell you the next one. You're going to keep joining me. No breaks unless you need it. We're going forward and back in 3, 2. Let's go. Keep that tension. Step forward. A few. And then step back. A few. Head, like you're balancing a glass of water on the top of your head. Yes. Ooh, we're coming down onto our back next. If that doesn't feel good for you, you can elevate your back onto a step, a stool, a bench, a stability ball, some pillows. Yes, there's those glutes. They're starting. Keep the tension. Keep pushing that band out as you step forward and back. You got 3, 2, 1. Come down onto your back. All right, single leg glute bridge or a wide glute bridge. You pick. Ready? Go for it. So you can reach that leg long, so we're not necessarily looking for tension in the band here, but we're gonna need the band next, and I don't wanna waste time taking the band off and putting it on. So if you're elevated, that's great. So those feet could be nice and wide, coming into a glute bridge that way, or even narrow. Good, we got one leg and then the other. 5, 4, 3, 2, switch sides and keep going. Now, if you went wide, go narrow. If you were narrow, go wide. If the single leg glute bridge is not your friend today, all the way down, lift it up. We're about halfway through this set. It's 3 minutes. Nice. So those abductions get that top part of our glutes. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2. Everybody is sitting up. Take those feet about hip width apart a little bit, depend wider, using your hands for a little bit of support. Push the band out and in, out and in. We're going 30 seconds here. Push, resist back, right? You're in control of that band, both directions. Out, in, out, in. Good. Stretch the band and then keep tension as you bring it back in. Give me 10. We're gonna lie back down again after this, or you can come into a tabletop hold or a hip thrust hold in 5, 4, 3, 2, glute bridge hold. Go for it. Lift it up, holding here. So you still have a little bit of tension in the band? Yes, we do. Hips are in line with knees if you can. So you're either here in that glute bridge hold, keep holding it. If that doesn't feel good, a reverse tabletop hold works. Good, notice if your legs are touching. Can you bring them apart a little bit? 5 more seconds here. Then we've got our last 30 seconds. Keep lifting for 4, 3, 2. Keep it up, pulse in and out. Now you can lower down here if this is too much, especially if you're hovering. Come down, reset, and then get back in. This is it, team. 20 seconds. Out, in, in. Yes. Whew. 15 more. You got this. Push it, resist it. 10. Stick with me if you can. 8, 7, 6. Good, just about there. 5 more. 4, 3, 2. Lower down. Whew. Awesome work. Take that mini band off. We made it. That's your total body strong with a glute finisher. You're welcome. Let's stretch. Flip it over into a tabletop. Reach your right hand up and then run that left hand underneath that armpit. Left shoulder comes down onto the mat. Left ear down. Oh, right ear. Right hand. Sorry. Left arm can reach if you want. Just breathing into the back of that shoulder. Come back through center, and we'll switch sides. Take your, this time, left hand. If you did left last time, do your right this time. Reach it up, find that opening through the chest, and then run it palm up. So total body strong runs every Monday morning, every second Monday morning in the summer. And that glute finisher, just a little bit of fun. We tend to throw things like that into the end of high-low heat, which runs on Thursday mornings. All right, come back through center. Take that right knee forward. Let's come into pigeon on that right side. Left leg can come straight back behind you if this doesn't feel good. 90-90 works, so you got 90 degrees in both those legs. Either way, we're bringing that chest over top of that right shin. And just melting into this here. So this class, great for everybody, no matter where you're at in your journey. Getting stronger is a good thing for everybody. Getting muscularly stronger, I guess. Every class has a different element of strength. This is pure muscular strength. Switch sides. So you can come back through tabletop if you want. And then your left leg's gonna come forward. Right leg comes straight back. And just start to settle into this and soak it all up. Passes are still on sale for the rest of summer, so you can get a discounted month if you're interested. All the details are on my website. If you have any questions, send me a message. If you like the video, hit like on YouTube, send me a message. Take a sweaty selfie, tag me in it. I'd love to celebrate and celebrate all the work that you're doing. Whether you are local or afar, we can all stay connected via this beautiful internet. Awesome work, everybody. That's your total body strong. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you need more stretches, go ahead and take the time. See you later.